guys, Gold Pony here today in the 2017 XC90 T6 Momentum, courtesy of Lehman Volvo in Mechanicsburg, PA. And I am super excited for this one today because this is actually my first Volvo review. And you guys know I've been checking out a lot of SUVs lately. And I thought to myself, why not check out Motor Trend's best SUV of the year for 2016, the XC90. And so starting with pricing, this one is going to be priced from $51,600, of course with options that can go up a little higher than that. Then when it comes to the power, this is a really interesting one. Powering the XC90 T6 is going to be a 2-liter turbocharged and supercharged 4-cylinder engine, putting out 316 horsepower at 5,700 RPM and 295 pound-feet of torque at 2,200 RPM. And in case you're wondering to yourself, why Volvo would you turbocharge and supercharge an engine? Well, that's so that you have the torque at the low end and the high end. Anyways, that power is going to be sent to all 4 wheels. The T6 does just come with the all-wheel drive setup there, and that power is going to be fed to the wheels through an 8-speed automatic transmission, giving you about 20 miles per gallon in the city and 25 on the highway, with a bunch of stuff actually helping with that miles per gallon, including one of those things being the Eco Start Stop system. So right now I'm sitting at a red light. The car has turned off for me, but as soon as I let off the brake, the car is going to instantly start back up for me, so it's not like I got to start it back up or anything like that again. But then another thing located just behind the shifter there are 4 different drive modes on this one. So there's going to be Eco, that's going to be your most efficient setting. Then there's going to be Comfort, which is going to be best for everyday use. Then there's going to be an off-road mode, so when it starts snowing here, like it always does in Pennsylvania, the XC90 is going to be able to tackle that. And then lastly, there is the dynamic driving mode. That is for your high-performance fun on the weekends. Ooh, and you can definitely tell the difference as far as throttle sensitivity. Good grief. And so I just switched it from Eco mode to dynamic mode, and wow, you barely touch the pedal in dynamic mode and this thing just rockets off. It's freaking fun. But in addition to the quicker acceleration in dynamic mode, you're also going to have quicker gear changes as well. But now, since I have not done it yet, let me do a quick little acceleration. And by the way, I am in dynamic driving mode still, so from a standstill, let's see how quickly we can get the T6 up to speed. You can feel it in your chest, I gotta admit. For a 3-row SUV, this thing's got some get up and go. And again, thanks to that turbocharged and supercharged engine. But as far as visibility goes, there's actually a huge rear window, so directly behind me, I am having no issues. And of course, with larger SUVs on the rear corners, there's always some slight blind spots, but you know what? We're in a Volvo. These things are known for being safe and sound. And so if I look at my side view mirrors, I'm gonna see that there's lane departure warnings. So if I did want to make a lane change on the highway, the XC90 is gonna have my back. But as far as the ride quality goes, this thing rides very smooth. I just hit a bump. I previously went over some railroad tracks. We have a lot of them here in Pennsylvania. And this thing's taking it really well. And that's even with the 19-inch wheel setup that this one comes with. And so since I mentioned it, as far as the exterior goes, like I said, the wheel size does come in at 19 inches. They are 10-spoke turbine silver alloy wheels. Definitely looks awesome on this one. And then up front and center, there is the Momentum front grille. And to the sides, there are LED headlights with daytime running lights, of course. And those headlights do come with active high beam control. So when you're driving at night and you got your high beams on, the car is going to sense when there's a car coming in the opposite direction. It's going to turn off the high beams for you, put you back to low beams, so you'll never have to worry about that. By the way, just in case you were wondering, there are active bending lights available on this one. That is an option. But then continuing around to the side, there are integrated turn signals, of course. And then looking in the back, there is rear privacy glass as well. But then swinging around to the back, there is a small rear spoiler. Definitely fits well on this one. And a very unique taillight design, and below all of that, there is the dual integrated exhaust with a chrome finish. So although we're in an SUV, as always, here is what that exhaust clip sounds like. Now, since we're around back, as far as the interior goes, this one's always important in an SUV. Cargo capacity is going to come in at 85.7 cubic feet. That's a ton. This one does have the ability to seat 7 passengers, so there is a 3rd row. And so for giggles, I'm 6 feet tall. This is how much space I had going on in that 3rd row. But I will say the 2nd row is definitely more manageable for adults. 3rd row is best left for kids. So in the 2nd row, that rear seat legroom does come in at 37 inches. Again, this is how much space I had there. And in that 2nd row, if there wasn't a center passenger, there is a fold-down rear armrest with 2 cup holders as well. Also, another thing I gotta mention, this is so cool. For the rear passengers in that 2nd row, there is dual zone climate control. control. How many times do you hear that in the second row of an SUV? That's freaking awesome. So both rear passengers can also control their own climate. Pretty freaking nice. Then moving up front, there are power adjustable front seats with power lumbar support and memory settings for up to 3 different drivers. Those front seats are heated as well. I don't want to forget to mention that. And the steering wheel is going to come tilt and telescoping. All right, another thing I want to mention to you guys is the key. How clean cut is this key? This is so freaking cool. All the buttons are actually going to be on the side. So you got your lock, unlock, and you can pop the trunk as well. So that's freaking cool, right? Then anyways, to start up the XC90, this is going to be different from most cars. Just behind the shifter, there's a button labeled engine. So to turn it to the left is going to be to stop it after you have the XC90 already on. And if you put your foot on the brake and turn it to the right, that is how you're going to start it up. And by the way, once you get it started up, those gauges will do a full sweep. And all those gauges, they are all a digital display as well. It's a 12-inch digital display. The speedometer is on the left, tachometer is going to be on your right. You're able to view so much stuff on this screen. Of course, there's the time, there's the temperature outside, all that stuff, but there's also speed limit recognition, so that's going to be located just below the digital speedometer there. It's just going to let you know what the speed limit is. So if you're driving somewhere you're not familiar, the XC90's got your back there. And if you scroll to the left a little bit, you're going to see that this one has adaptive cruise control, which basically means when you're driving on the highway and you're following somebody in front of you, if you set that, the XC90 is going to automatically adjust its speed based on the car in front of you. So if the car in front of you slows down, the XC90 is going to automatically brake. So it really is cruise control at its finest. You don't have to worry about the pedals. And then before I get to the fun part here, overall interior quality is definitely amazing in the Volvo here. Everything is soft touch. Up on the dash, it's all soft touch leather. There's genuine wood trim right underneath of that, right above the glove box there. Then another thing I gotta mention on this one is there is a ginormous panoramic moonroof, which lets in so much more light for this video. So thank you, Volvo, for that. Honestly, I love panoramic moonroofs because at night, the rear passengers as well as the front passengers are gonna have an awesome view of the stars. It's definitely a nice feature and definitely miss when you don't have it anymore. Trust me on that one. But now front and center, this is the cleanest setup I've ever seen in an interior. There are only 8 buttons in front of the shifter here. Everything else is going to be managed by this touchscreen display here, which is kind of functioning like an iPad would. So it's basically all going to be controlled using pinch and swipe motion. So first thing I wanted to mention is you do have your controls in the bottom left and right corners there. So all you need to do is touch that. You can slide that up and down, find the temperature that you're a fan of and select that, and then hit close. Of course, just beside those temperatures, there's going to be the heated seat buttons. So as it gets cold out, as it often does here in Pennsylvania, that one's going to bail you out there. But then front and center at the very top is going to be your navigation display there. So when you get lost, that's there for you. And of course, you can link your phone to the car so you can have hands-free connectivity, aka Bluetooth. There's also going to be some driving statistics like your average miles per gallon. That's pretty cool. And as far as the audio setup goes, I think we need to check that one out right now. That's going to come with 224 watts standard with 10 speakers, which is a good bit actually to come standard. So let's give that a shot here. It's like a night at the Roxbury. You guys remember that where he's bobbing his head and he breaks the window? Surprisingly, this thing has got a ton of bass for that setup. I'm a fan. Definitely liking the sound system here. And then of course there is a ton of other stuff you can see here. For instance, if you slide to the right, you got the weather. And so that's going to let you check things like today's forecast or 7-day forecast as well. That's pretty nice. Then if you slide to the left, you basically got all your safety information and a bunch of other really sweet stuff like the heads-up display. So you're going to be able to display actually how high or how low you want that heads-up display. A lot of cars don't give you that option. That's pretty cool because not every driver is the same height, so it only makes sense to be able to do that, right? And basically what this screen is going to be able to allow you to do is turn on or off any of these safety features. So if you're not a fan of the lane keep assist or if you're not a fan of the distance alert, you can turn that stuff off. Then another really sweet thing about this one is that there is a 360-degree camera here, so it's going to be a top view. And then actually, if you hit that camera, there's going to be 4 different cameras basically that it uses. So you can select to view any one of those 4 cameras if you wanted to. And so let's hit the front view camera here because not every car has that. That's pretty cool. I'm kind of curious. Let me see what the side view camera looks like here. Oh, okay. So if there's like a little squirrel or something to your left, you don't want to back over it. That's how you're going to be able to not do that. That's pretty cool. And then if you hit the rear view camera, and by the way, you don't need to hit that button for the rear view camera to come on. You can simply just put the car in reverse. It's also going to come on that way, of course. So you got that there. But anyways, as always, that leads me into safety. So to start, let me start with some of the cooler safety features on the Volvo here. There is something called City Safety Collision Avoidance Technology. So basically what that's going to do is when you're driving, I guess, in the city, between a speed of 2 and 30 miles per hour, the car is going to automatically brake when it detects a collision is imminent either with a human or with another vehicle. So that's pretty cool if you're not paying attention, or if you're in a congested area like a city. Also, there's going to be something called driver alert control, which basically monitors your steering and it compares to your normal driving. So it basically accumulates your driving statistics as you drive more and more and more. And so when it detects that you're possibly getting drowsy by basically horrible steering or just bad driving, the car is going to alert you via audible and visual warnings. So if you start falling asleep at the wheel, the XC90 is going to wake you up in a second so you don't crash. And of course, you have your normal safety information, like there's latch, aka lower anchors and tethers for children for the car seats back there. There's also electronic stability control, lane departure warning, like I previously mentioned, that's going to light up in the side mirrors there. There's rear collision warning, and there's of course front side and side curtain airbags. But then the last thing I wanted to mention on the safety is, as far as the roadside information goes, it lets you know the speed limit. You can actually set that to flash 3 times, either on the dash or on the instrument panel if you exceed the speed limit. So let's say if you're a parent and you lend the XC90 to your kids, put that setting on, and that's gonna pretty much annoy the heck out of them if they go over the speed limit. But anyways, you guys, that is about it for this one. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to like the video and subscribe. Feel free to follow me on social media right there, and I will see you guys in the next video. Stay gold.